Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the Big Red Omen here again. I'm going to show you how to build Warframes and which Warframes that I think are good on the raid. Now, the first four I'm going to show you are essential in every raid group. I have at least one of these four ready to go. If you can have all of them ready, it's even better. You can show you a little bit of gameplay here in the background. This is from the last section with you can see there's a Bobbin running around. I'm running a Assimilate build Nyx, which is all duration and range still for the chaos, but you use the Assimilate for the second part. Now, there are specific weapons that you need to use while you're playing this too. Tigress, number one. The more Tigresses you have, the better. You need to be running a corrosive projection on every Warframe, so you're going to have to format at least one time. The more corrosive projections you have, the easier it is for everybody. Soma is also a good one to run. Most people run Silva and Aegis or Galantine as their melee weapon, but honestly, you're not going to be using it much. I like using the Stiletto Primes and the Vasto Prime as my secondary, just because of the slash and corrosive with Vasto, and the impact damage on Stiletto is really fantastic. That, like I said before, you need to make sure you have at least one of these four. These other four are ones that I've tested or am going to test. Now I'm going to be mentioning which ones need to be tested, which ones I have tested, which ones are the ones that you need to have. But I hope that everybody enjoys the video. If you did, give me a like. If you didn't, comment and tell me why. But I hope to see all of you in the next video, but let's get started.
Nothing can replace the relays we lost, but you have made a statement to the system. Tenno, avenge their dead. A Tenno needs...
Always sacrifice to the fire gods. Okay, so the first build that I'm showing you here is Slova. You can copy my build or you can go base off of it, but it's mostly duration and efficiency or strength, depending on what you want. Here's my loadout for it when I run it. So I'll show you what it does with her fourth ability here, which is all that you're going to use. Let's spawn in some enemies. Run over here, and we're going to pop our 4. And you won't really be able to see it here, but you will see it in the next clip since the enemies will be affected. They are severely slowed down, and they're way easier to kill. You have to have her. This is my Nyx build. I'm running her on an Assimilate. You can copy my build, or you can use your own. This is... the hardest thing you're going to have to do on these builds is run vaults on the ones that I'm showing you. No prime mods, you don't have to spend any plat, you can get all of these mods legitimately, and you can get all the regular variants of the Warframe legitimately. But as you can see here, they're severely slowed down if you've ever seen a Chaos Nyx before. And I use the Assimilate for the second section so that I can still cast my Chaos while I'm safe on the pads for the puzzle at the beginning. Alright, here we have a EV Trinity build. You have to have EV Trinity on every squad, it's just a fact. She's needed for the first part, and especially on Nightmare Raid, she's needed constantly. Having one or two of these in your squad it's definite, dude. You have to have it. I'll show you the EV Trinity regen here. You need that, especially during the first part for the bomb runners, and in the third part for the bomb runners. You'll need it in the second part to slow everything down and make things easier for you. Alright, and we have a Bobbin repelling the steel build, which you need to kind of just slow the enemies down for about 30 seconds per Bastille. Everything that gets caught in it is lifted, and then everything that comes in afterwards gets thrown back out. So nothing can get near you or your teammates. See here, this is the range and the duration which you need on both builds. Most of these are range and duration, but I'll pop up here and show you can cover a wide area, which you absolutely have to be able to do, just these abilities. And here we have a Volt Capacitance build, which is a 4th augment on him. Basically, it gives everybody in your team overshields, and the reason why he's good is because you build him for duration and range, and you pop your 4th ability, and it gives you overshields and everybody standing directly around you overshields, as you can see here. And it also shreds the enemies if there's a bunch of them close together, but then you can also drop your shields And this is very useful on the second section when you're standing on the pads, because the only thing that can get you is a shield lancer. And even then you should be able to spot them. I mean, you've got plenty of time on this build. Alright, and here we have a Rhino Stomp build. These are the ones that I've seen people use, but you don't... I wouldn't use these personally, but as long as I had the other 4, at least one of each of those first 4, I'd be okay with this. Forgot to grab some energy. Now this, you want to build him on a Rhino Stomp build. It doesn't freeze them for long, but as long as the EV Trinity is popping, that Rhino can hit a lot of people and keep them down for like 10 to 15 seconds, depending on your duration, if you've got Prime Continuity and the maxed Vault mod for that. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to run him as a tank, you want to run him as this. So this is the best thing for Rhino. Alright, so then we're going to move over to Atlas. There are 2 builds that I would recommend for Atlas. The first one, which is the one that I'm using, they're basically both the exact same thing, just the difference in the augment mod. You want the augment for the second ability and the augment for the 4th ability. The reason for the 4th ability augment is because it would aggro everything in the room, but it would still be a little difficult to stay on your pads. You can also freeze them for about 40-ish seconds on a duration build. I think the strength freezes them faster though, which is why I had this up, but if you put it on a duration build, you're good. But if you have the augment for the second ability, when you're standing inside of the pad, you can place these in a triangle around you. Well, I forgot to put it on here, but you can place them in a triangle around you and stand on the pad, because it'll let you place 3 instead of just 1. Alright, and now we're going to have a Hydroid Corroding Barrage build, which will be useful in the last section of the boss fight with that augment, but you want to... I haven't tested this one myself, but I've heard that he's good to use on a build like this. You would want to keep his first and his 4th ability active. The range is ridiculous, but it would hit a lot of enemies around you, specifically the ones that are in the circle, and it would like crowd up and keep the enemies off. And the Corroding Barrage would be useful against Dayhek, and also for shredding the armor of other enemies. Now, I'm not sure, but I've heard that if you activate his Puddle ability when you're on one of the pads, that you're fine. And I will test this and put it in the description once I've tested it, whether it works or not. But also the Tidal Wave ability there would be really useful for getting around. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like, give me a sub. If you didn't, leave a comment down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you.